Don't worry. You're...
That'll be fine.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, just bringing everything up. Here we are. Everybody, welcome to House of the Dead Tree, the sequel to the game Multi was playing. So pretty much this game is kind of different in terms of how it puts its ruling in place. Let me just get this sorted out. Yeah, so this was made how long after Santo?
Like maybe 3 years later, 3 or 4 years later in the line, when we made the jump from the PS1, the Dreamcast to the PS2 and the Xbox. So
Yeah,
yeah,
a little bit, a little bit. Um, yeah, I'll just get straight into this. In short, kind of the story is that multiple years later, far in the future, um,
the
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 same
far future
character,
of 2019.
the far future of 2019, the guys come to investigate some stuff that has unfolded at a facility. I think was it run by Korean?
Yeah, it was like an kind of an AI made out of
Yeah,
Kieran's brain, something like that. But
yeah.
in
So yeah. So if you know
yeah,
Goldman's kind of the real funny seat man. Kurian was the guy that was from the first game, which at
was
the in 2 games time you'll be seeing a little bit more of Kurian in the remake. Could be exciting.
yeah. Also, the game takes place in 2019, which is already way past the time, and it was part of an entire timeline, which in between it happens both House of the Dead 4 and House of the Dead Scarlet Dawn, and somehow humanity lost, and well, we are at the brink of extinction, and somehow this current laboratory has the key to survival of the humanity, which is weird, and they don't explain it ever again until
Yeah, there we go.
I
Sorry for the rushed introduction. We had a little bit of a timing issue on some incorrect time placement, so I kind of just wanted to get into this. Hi, I'm ElectroPunk. I'm a kind of a variety streamer. I stream quite a lot of light gun games. So kind of a lot of the stuff you see in like if you want to keep watching Multi, you'll see him stream some stuff. I tend to focus on the PS2 games and some of the PS3 stuff. We also have Santo Porter here, or Santa Potter. I haven't really talked to you about how to pronounce that, have I?
I don't care. Both sounds good. Don't worry. But yeah, I'm here commentating and helping also Electro with some things here, and he's a really good runner. He actually beats me in a lot of categories because he's just a happy trigger. He's just a trigger happy, and I am not that big of a trigger happy man.
Yeah, so pretty
But still,
much at the start of the game, so that beginning segment was in the past, and was that Thomas Rogan, if I wasn't incorrect?
yeah, it was Thomas Rogan,
So the guy that
and
you saw at the end of Multi's run, he basically comes back because there's obviously a disturbance, as I said, and he gets stuck due to a particular reason. And this is G, which, if you guys remember G, and Lisa, if I'm not wrong, which is
Lisa, which is the daughter of
Thomas
Thomas.
Rogan. Yeah, so there's some very interesting tactics in this game. I'm not one of the best runners, but I'm starting to get really far into it now. This is the PS3 version of the game. Recently, we actually separated the leaderboards of
House of the Dead
House of
3
Dead
and
3
2.
because there's a lot of versional differences between this game. So on the PS3 version, there is some stuff that doesn't really cross over between the different versions. It's if you know, you know. If you don't, I'm not going to go overcomplicate into it. But in short, yeah, this game has multiple chapters similar to House of Dead 2. But different from House of Dead 2, we can actually choose those chapters in what order, and that will influence the way that the game is played. Now, not to try to be boring, the quickest route in this game is actually the one that is the most direct, which
The
is
left
the
to right one.
is left to right, which is the standard route.
Also, the other thing that implemented
yeah.
here, and it began with another game that the level will be running later, is the boss bar attack.
Yes.
The boss bar attack is just you can avoid complete damage if you
also,
hit
quickly, non-interrupting, you'll see 209. 09, so the PS3 version of this game is incomplete. It is broken in a lot of ways, and that timer will always be broken. It will always sit on a particular minute, so either the minute before or after, depending on what the actual time sits at, but it'll always have 09. You'll see that in every single one. So that is not you going insane, that is just the game. So this does use in-game timer, and the in-game timer at the end is correct. It is just the timer in each of the individual stages is broken.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't want to go down.
Also, the zombies here are not zombies; are actually creatures, and they are clones from an original creature, of our original zombie.
Timer bug crazy. Yeah, it's a bit weird how that works on the PS3 version. To be entirely honest with you, the whole community surrounding the House of Dead, like speedrunning and that kind of stuff, has really died out, and a lot of the older runners have just kind of left the game. So it's left a whole bunch of new runners to come back and say, hey, there's a couple differences. There's a couple weird things that are happening in these ports. So, yeah, if anyone's wondering, I am using a PS Move, very similar to, like, you know, something that Multi used. I'll be using this PS Move for this game and Deadstorm Pirates, which will be after this. Also, funny thing, I can just shoot G here. It does not matter. The bullets just go straight through him. So there's like these save segments, so there's no civilians to be saved. And the save segments, which you just saw, is kind of what the civilians are. Kind of the equivalent of. So I get life if I do that, but, you know, I don't really care about life that much. I don't really lose a whole lot.
Also,
you would also shoot those guys through the wall. That's really funny.
Yeah. Also, another thing. There's a zombie before that. If you see it, that is an unique and original design because it was a contest, a competition that Sega did for some design for a new creature for House of the Dead 3, and the guy that won got his design in the game, which is pretty neat. I think Sega needs to do that once again.
Yeah, there's like a red-faced zombie. It's kind of like I think it was like I can't remember the name of it was, but he only appears on the right side of the table. So if you ever play this game again, you'll see a zombie there. That was actually someone who just dressed up and they won the contest or competition, and they got put into the game. So a really cool design, but it really never gets shown off. And I must credit Multi-Brawler and the team at the Wiki of the Dead, if I'm not incorrect in that name, because there's two wikis.
He's called Meatman or something.
Yeah, there's two wikis that are also run by Multi and some other people. Multi didn't do everything, but he did a lot. But yeah, there's some very interesting information on that. Meatman or something. Yeah, I think it's a Meatman. I mean, I think Multi's too asleep. I think he wanted to stay, but yeah, he's Multi was very tired before he did his runs. Yeah, so in comparison to some of the runs Multi was doing with 1cc, I don't really care if I take damage because it's kind of getting through the game as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna concentrate a little bit of Santo if you want to continue on this.
Yeah, so here we have the fool, or la criatura. but yeah, this is a giant mutated slot, which his weak points are his forelimbs, and this might be one of the more annoying bosses because of the third pattern that has, which is it is, you will see it is like really annoying. but so far the boss is not that big of a deal. Also, if you try to shoot his body in this part, it won't do damage. But in the last part, the last phase, you can deal a lot of damage to his body before waiting for the attack. And this is the pattern I was telling you guys that is completely annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much going with like the more difficult segments. In short, that so throughout this game, in comparison to House of Dead 2, so if anyone was noticing in chat during kind of like the fishy boss, it really didn't cross my mind Multi was doing it doesn't really matter about the damage there. Because you're pretty much just getting that green bar down. There we are. During Multi's run, I completely blanked out because of 1 CC. He's trying to go for score. On the fishy boss, you can cycle skip, and the thing is with House of Dead 2, they hadn't really implemented anything that was a prevention method to that. Preventing someone from just skipping through multiple different segments of a boss. So in this game, they really took it all the way to the opposite end, which means if you see that I'm like, you know, not hitting someone or not hitting a particular boss, and I'll show it off a little bit more when it comes up, you'll see that it just doesn't allow you to hit amongst a certain, like past a certain area. I think Santa, you can probably explain that a little bit better than I have. But it kind of locks you off at certain points.
Yeah, you can shoot him because sometimes bosses are just dependent on the boss attack life bar, and sometimes you cannot shoot him after you depleted the boss attack.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. However, I think it's best implemented in House of the Dead 4, if I'm correct. I think they kinda show you.
They fixed the House of Dead 4.
Yeah, because this appeared in a previous game before House of the Dead 3, which we will see later on the Vampire Night, and actually we're going to see that there has kind of the same problem like here, like it has here. You're gonna shoot the bosses after they just the boss attack bar. Also, this is the only stage where you have the boss fight and the level continues.
Yes.
I think in the entire series, if I'm correct.
Yes, it pretty much is. It's one of the only House of the Dead type bosses in which after you complete it, there is more to the stage.
Not that much, but still, it's different.
Yeah. Okay, so this boss is a bit wacky and weird. I'm not gonna go full insane mode on this. There is a tactic, so as you can see, I might be reloading early. And that's because if you still have bullets in your mag, you can do something called quick reload. So that's a normal reload. You can see it's a little bit quicker here. It kind of speeds up the whole monotony of this game, which is the fact that even though you do damage, you're not shooting with a pistol anymore. You have a shotgun, which is a lot more frustrating for myself. I always love the pistols in the game. Santo, you're probably opposite to me since you do any percent. You kind of like the grenade launchers and that kind of crap.
Well, yeah, they're pretty funny. But I don't like the delay.
What? Hey, what? I already killed him. Okay, that's a bit weird. Oh yeah, this is the annoying cycle now.
Okay, the game just became funny. The game
the game. So one thing that yes, this is the extended segment. House of the Dead overall is a series very much dominated by kind of cheap hits in a way, similar to Time Crisis. The earlier games tend to have really cheap hits in them, if I'm not mistaken, Santo, for like the original House of the Dead one.
Yeah, but they are avoidable in a way if you remember the
Yeah.
pattern like 100%.
But here's the next issue which comes with that. These games are really buggy at certain stages. Why didn't he die? As you can see, there's two bugs which weren't expected in this run already. Yeah, but these games do tend to be a bit buggy from time to time, so
They do
there's not.
become
Hey,
quirky
guys,
at
guys,
night.
look at that 309. You know,
But but yeah,
I love the 09 at the end.
yeah. So here, the sun is actually
I know.
the most bullet spongy boss in the entire game,
Yeah.
next to the final boss. Like they are like the most bullet spongy bosses on the entire game.
Yes, as I was saying before about the boss caps compared to House of the Dead 2, which was Multi's run, you can see here that like even though I am shooting him right, he doesn't take damage there. This is kind of a I won't say segmented, but pre-scripted. So even though you can like hit him here, it really doesn't do anything. Because you'll see in a minute, it just pushes you outside, pushes you into this area. It's one of the more unique bosses in the House of Dead series because it continues across the entire level. The
Yeah.
boss.
Also, I like to think that you fool, you cannot shoot me. I have the power of iframes on my side.
The thing iframes is one of my gripes with House of Dead 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
House of Dead 3 overall, it's probably arguably my least favorite game. I still think the House of Dead series overall is great. Also, I am not talking about overkill. People know me from the speedrunning Discord that we have. I really dislike overkill.
I mean, Overkill, I played it, it's good, I find it amazing. But it's so long for
Yeah,
speedrunning as a rail
it's
shooter.
very long. Looks like we got away.
Nice.
Looks like we got away.
But still, I still think Overkill is a pretty good game. I mean, they had to extend the game for they cannot make just like a rail shooter and make it cost like $60, which makes sense. So they extended it by adding some mini games, some extended things, some new weapons, everything, and I think they did a pretty decent job.
Yes, this is the continued segment. I always like to think in my head this is up to RNG, but it's pretty much just because I kind of suck at aiming on these parts. Yeah, it is a really tricky boss in terms of getting those hits right, particularly on this segment that's coming up next. I love how he just disappears. I've never questioned that.
He just rolled back. He just went backwards.
Yeah, but onto a kind of more relevant House of Dead topic overall is that I don't think Multi addressed this. With the voice acting House of Dead 2 and stuff, we don't actually know the voice actors, and what we find really weird is that we know some of them for House of Dead 3, but that's about it. So you can see here that my aim is totally going insane and sucking there. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't really save a whole lot of time by getting him earlier on.
But
in short, the main time savers of these games, the main time savers, are pretty much just the final boss and some of the and just killing enemies. A lot of these bosses are really scripted, and it's I think that's one of the main downfalls of House of Dead 3, is most of the stuff is scripted. But there's also certain parts of this game which I also really enjoy. But yeah. Going back to the voice actors, we basically know none of them, or very few. And I think the we've tried to make contact with a couple of them, and we've always gotten like either blocked or something else. And it's of course it's funny in the way that I think at a certain point, some of these
You don't
people
wanna remember those things.
don't want to remember it, but it was really interesting because House of Dead 3 in particular, we know some of them, and if I'm not wrong, I think it's like Cooper, I think one of the main
What's the
voice
of
actors
Daniel,
for
I think.
Daniel, which you'll see later on. There's some very big voice actors for this game in particular, for like, you know, the most random reason.
You just don't give up, do ya?
But yeah, it's still pretty much been uncontested. We just have no idea who they are. And it's a shame because of like people like Goldman and the other characters. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
it'd be really funny to have a chat with them. Also, if you're wondering, I'm just going through the monotony segments. This is like one of the most boring stages in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you have to fight the boss again, and it just becomes so
Yeah.
boring in a way. Also, I wanted to address also, like, since I'm a Latin American speaker, and my main language is Spanish, I want to say that it exists a Spanish dub for House of the Dead 1. I told him, I told it to Multi to add it to the wiki because it's something mysterious. I remember the first time I played House of the Dead 1, it was with the Spanish dub, and
Yes, there is a Spanish dub of this of House of Dead 1.
yeah.
Yeah. We're coming up to the final stage of this. If you guys are wondering, this will go a little over time. As I said at the start, the estimates were a little bit wrong. Also, additionally, because the bosses in this game kind of suck, and it's very much RNG, at least at the Wheel of Fate. Partially, I mean, we like to believe it, but it's also just saving your ally, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
Those are the patterns. Yeah, but yeah, in more recent times, with the voice actors, we've had the whole community has kind of come together a lot more recently now, and we've really appreciated, we have, I must shout out Chris Okawa, which is the main voice actor for Thomas Rogan in the remake, which I'll point out when I actually get to that game. But we've had a lovely time with him, kind of being like a
Yeah.
community ambassador for for us. He's really cool. He's helped
He's a
us
really
out
cool
with multiple things. He sends his regards to anyone who loves the series. He wanted to come on, but he has been tanked with a lot of work recently. He's an
Yes,
awesome
he's-
dude, but I think nowadays we're moving towards we're very happy that the House of Dead community is becoming a lot bigger. Thankfully, with people like Multi and stuff doing all those 1cc runs.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
have people doing the
finally,
speedruns.
finally we're onto a segment which we can talk about. So pretty much the entire last stage is one of the more boring stages of this game, but this is more interesting. So as I was talking about at the start, there are differences between the different versions of this game, and there's a version on the Wii. This guy on the Wii version, if I'm not mistaken, goes down in one revive. So as
Yeah,
you can
one
see,
revive,
there's a
yeah.
little powder that comes off of him. Yeah, that stuff. That's him reviving. He only does that once on the Wii version. On this version, he does it how many times? 4 to 5?
4 to 5.
Yeah,
This is
4 to
the
5
last one, I
times.
guess. Yeah, okay.
So this game is
Also-
very interesting also in terms of speed running. There really isn't much because everything's pretty much scripted, but except for, of course, the firing and this last boss that's coming up. In terms of speedrunning, it's very much just kill enemies as fast as possible. But in terms of firing, as I said before, there's the quick reload, which I've been trying to use as much as possible. And you'll see me use it quite a bit on this final boss, the Wheel of Fate. Which,
Also, one another thing I wanted to say, that guy
Yeah.
is the only zombie in the game.
yes,
And
the
probably
only
in the
actual
series.
zombie.
Yeah,
The only
because that's
zombie
the
that is not a
guy-
clone.
Yeah, because that's the guy that died at the beginning of the game, and he now became a zombie.
So this is supposed to be Curian. So I'm gonna play this. I will probably stick with the last cutscene, so I'll keep it because there's some very funny voice acting. Let me just get this done. This guy's very annoying, as Santo and I know.
yeah, this is this goes wild, like pretty quick.
This goes for a long time.
I think it's the second longest boss fight in the series. You know why? Because I remember now that Scarlet Dawn.
Imagine doing this in like a
fight.
public arcade. That's one continue. Imagine doing this in an arcade. It's actually insane. So these Wheel of Fate segments are very annoying, particularly on the PS3 version of the game. On PC, they're a lot better. There's a good cycle on them. PC version, I think, is just a lot more consistent. Yeah, that's the one thing I've never actually thought about. How to play is just kind of just hovering. Yeah, we don't really question House of the Dead free logic. Overall, I mean, this boss, so I like to say it's RNG, but pretty much its cycles are influenced by the saving actions, which I did before. I don't really care about it since it's like a minimal difference at most, but overall, it can make a real difference in terms of if you're not very confident with certain segments of this fight, because you can influence which ones you get. But if you kind of just brute force your way into it, like I have just there, it doesn't really matter.
So now I think it's time for the final phase. And yeah. So this, I was trying to get a 2-cycle with this, but I think it's close to impossible. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's close to.
1 cycle is possible.
1 cycle?
I've done a 1 cycle on PC. If you guys are wondering, the opportunity to hit him is like nilch. So that's the boss itself. So we'll play out this final cutscene. I wasn't originally going to due to the time itself, but it's a pretty funny kind of lines that get put out here. So you'll see Daniel. So we really skipped over him because of the cutscenes. But we'll see here that Daniel, so that's kind of Curian. It's kind of weird, but this is I'll just leave it at this. You'll see.
This is our future. We'll handle it ourselves. You've got bigger problems to worry about.
I always find that line really,
You're
really
not
funny.
my papa.
I always find that line really funny. I'd say that the voice acting very much improved in this game in comparison to the older one. A lot of people don't like Lisa, which is on the left here.
Hey, let's
It's a very I think it's very well done, but I mean other people disagree with that. That's pretty much House of Dead 3. I mean it's a good game to start off with on this on my 4-game, I think it's 4 games or however many I'm doing, journey in this marathon, which I'm very happy to be a part of. It's very much a great start, but the next one we're going to go into is a whole lot better in my opinion, Santo.
Yeah.
We have got Deadstorm Pirates coming up very soon. We'll wait until like the final screen. How about that? And then we'll go into a break of this.
Okay, now that we are waiting for the next one, let's talk about it. Do you know that if you get the best score in the House of the game, you get like a good ending or a better ending?
Yeah. So what Multi was talking about, so that ending with that guy at the end was pretty much because he did everything correctly. This is the bad ending. This is not canon in the series, but pretty much because I've just kind of brute forced my way into the game. I think this is a pretty bad time. This game's timing at the end, so it's fixed here. It's a bit interesting though how it works. Can we get this to not say in? It's gonna be like 22. Nah, 2020. It's not horrible. The record by myself, it's not the world record, but it's 19. So I mean, I got a minute off, which is not bad. That was pretty good. But we'll hand it up to Deadstorm Pirates coming up next, which will be very fun.